orders to take you all prisoner. Sorry. What? We'd like to, but we can't accept your surrender.
Behind the epic war film A Bridge Too Far lies a battlefield of hidden truths and shocking stories. From casting legends to dangerous stunts, these are the secrets that change everything you thought you knew. Fact 1. The movie tells the story of Operation Market Garden. It was an ambitious Allied plan during World War II. The goal was to capture bridges in the Netherlands. It aimed to shorten the war, but it became a disastrous failure. Thousands of soldiers were trapped. The operation cost enormous casualties. The film showed this with brutal honesty. Many war movies softened history. This one did not. It portrayed mistakes openly. Generals were shown as flawed. It shocked audiences with its realism. The truth was painful. The mission was bold but doomed. The film stayed close to reality. It honored the men who fought, but it exposed the leaders' errors. The failure became immortalized in cinema. It made history unforgettable. But the truth wasn't the only bold move. The casting itself was beyond legendary. Fact 2.
Do you think they know something we don't?
The producers wanted the biggest names. They filled the film with legends. Sean Connery played General Urquhart. Anthony Hopkins appeared as Frost. Robert Redford led the Nijmegen assault. Michael Caine fought in a tank. Gene Hackman commanded Polish troops. James Caan risked everything as a paratrooper. Laurence Olivier appeared as a doctor. It was an all-star ensemble. No war film had so many stars. Each actor took their role seriously. They gave gravity to the story. Audiences were amazed by the lineup. The cast alone sold tickets. It felt like Hollywood's greatest gathering. The star power honored the story. It gave the film weight. It made history feel larger than life. But those stars didn't come cheap. The budget nearly collapsed under their salaries. Fact 3.
Forgive me, but there's a battle, and we are in the process of winning it.
The cost was enormous. It reached $22 million in 1977. That was massive for its time. It became one of the most expensive films ever. The stars demanded high pay. The battle scenes needed vast resources. Real tanks were used. Real paratroopers were filmed. Bridges had to be rebuilt. Explosions were staged across towns. The scale was unprecedented. Studios feared the risk. It was a gamble on epic storytelling. The money showed on screen. Every scene felt massive. It looked like real war. Audiences saw the expense. The budget became legendary. But profits were harder to secure. The risk nearly sank the project. But even bigger than money was the authenticity, because real soldiers were on set. Fact 4.
Arnheim auslöschen.
The film hired thousands of extras. Many were real Dutch and British soldiers. They brought authenticity to the battles. They knew real drills. They moved like real units. The paratrooper scenes looked flawless. The realism came from experience. It wasn't just acting. It was military memory. The extras made the movie authentic. They respected the story deeply. They honored fallen comrades. Their presence added power. It felt like history revived. The filmmakers valued their help. The soldiers enjoyed being part of it. It became more than cinema. It became remembrance. The film felt alive with history. The soldiers gave it truth. But the truth turned dangerous because real stunts nearly killed actors. Fact 5.
We're going to take Nijmegen Bridge tonight. What's the best way to take a bridge?
Both ends at once.
Battle scenes used real explosions. Actors were close to fire. Some were thrown by blasts. Parachute drops were filmed for real. Planes flew dangerously low. The river crossing was terrifying. Robert Redford did it himself. He braved real currents. The stunt nearly failed. The risk was enormous. Safety was limited in the 1970s. Actors were often unprotected. The danger gave realism. The actors looked terrified. Because they were. The film felt authentic because of risk. The stunts pushed limits. It was cinema on the edge. The danger became legend. The risk became unforgettable. But the danger wasn't just stunts. Even the filming locations had shocking struggles. Fact 6. The story took place in Arnhem. The Dutch government was cautious. The memories of war were painful. They feared reopening old wounds. But filmmakers convinced them. They promised respect. They employed locals as extras. They filmed in real towns. The Dutch embraced the project. They welcomed the stars. It boosted tourism later. People visited Arnhem for history. The filming preserved memories. The Dutch saw it as tribute. It honored their suffering. The locations made it real. The streets told the story. It felt like history repeating. The setting gave authenticity. It made the film unforgettable. But even authenticity couldn't save it from critical backlash. Fact 7.
Good day, Doctor.
General Okra, we have no more space and we have no more supplies.
The film was massive, but reviews were mixed. Some praised its realism. Others called it too long. They said it had too many stars. They felt the battles dragged. The complexity confused audiences. Some called it depressing. Others admired its honesty. It struggled at the box office. It didn't recoup costs immediately. It became controversial, but history judged it differently. Now it's seen as a classic. Its ambition is respected. Its cast is legendary. Its realism is praised. It has aged better than reviews. The critics underestimated it. The legacy outlived the backlash. But backlash wasn't the only struggle. Sean Connery himself nearly refused his role. Fact 8.
Have to risk it. It's halfway through the morning and things aren't getting any better.
Connery was a global star. He didn't need the film. He doubted its script. He feared it glorified failure. He wanted realism. Producers convinced him. They promised honesty. Connery accepted reluctantly. He respected history. He honored Urquhart. His performance was praised. He brought gravitas. Audiences admired his intensity. He showed soldiers humanity. He added weight to the role. Connery later admitted pride. He was glad he joined. The film gained credibility. Connery made it stronger. His doubts turned to legacy. But Connery wasn't the only legend. Anthony Hopkins shocked everyone with his role. Fact 9.
Cover fire, quick!
Hopkins was not yet a superstar. He was a respected actor. But a bridge too far gave him spotlight. He played John Frost. His portrayal was intense. It showed leadership under fire. Audiences admired his calm strength. He stood out among legends. Critics praised his performance. It boosted his career. It foreshadowed greatness. Hopkins proved he belonged with stars. The role became iconic. Fans remembered his stoicism. The casting paid off. Hopkins later became world famous. This was a stepping stone. It marked him for greatness. He shone in the chaos. The film helped launch a legend. But another legend nearly died on set. James Caan risked everything for authenticity. Fact 10.
I'll blow your fucking head off.
Caan wanted realism. He did his own stunts. He filmed a battlefield rescue. It involved real explosions. Debris flew dangerously close. One blast misfired. It almost crushed him. The danger was real. Caan refused to quit. He continued filming. His bravery impressed everyone. He gave heart to his role. He played a loyal soldier. The near death made it believable. Audiences felt the risk. Caan poured himself into it. The danger showed on screen. It made the scene iconic. It became unforgettable. The stunt nearly killed him. The role became legend. But danger wasn't limited to stunts. The production nearly collapsed financially. Fact 11.
For God's sake, get it sorted out before we have a bloody disaster on our hands.
The budget ballooned constantly. Costs for extras skyrocketed. Equipment broke often. Weather delays added weeks. Explosions destroyed expensive sets. Actors demanded high salaries. Studios panicked daily. Producer Joseph Levine mortgaged assets. He believed in the film. Financial collapse loomed. Executives considered shutting it down. But momentum kept it alive. The stars drew attention. Money poured in reluctantly. The gamble paid off eventually. But during filming, bankruptcy was real. The risk haunted everyone. Levine staked his career. Failure would ruin him. Success saved him. The financial drama became legend. But money wasn't the only struggle. The scale of battle scenes broke all records. Fact 12.
Look here, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we're going to have to occupy our house.
Thousands of extras filled fields. Hundreds of vehicles rolled out. Real tanks thundered. Planes filled the skies. Paratroopers leapt by the hundreds. Entire towns became sets. Explosions shook landscapes. It felt like real war. The logistics were insane. Coordinating so many people was chaos. Directors used megaphones constantly. Scenes took days to rehearse. The cost was staggering, but the results were breathtaking. Audiences saw true spectacle. It felt larger than life. No CGI existed then. Everything was practical. The realism was unforgettable. It became a war epic benchmark. The scale was unmatched. But even with scale, one scene stole the spotlight. Robert Redford's river crossing. Fact 13.
Hail Mary, with grace.
Redford wanted realism. He refused stunt doubles. He filmed the river crossing himself. The current was dangerous. Boats capsized repeatedly. Explosions erupted around him. Water dragged him under. He swallowed river water. Crew members panicked. Safety divers rushed in. Redford insisted on continuing. He wanted authenticity. The scene looked terrifying. Because it was. His determination impressed everyone. It showed bravery beyond acting. The near drowning became famous. Fans admired his dedication. Critics praised the scene. It felt brutally real. Redford risked his life. But while Redford nearly drowned, another legend brought heart to the chaos. Olivier. Fact 14.
You understand that we have great need of additional space.
Olivier played a Dutch doctor. At the time, he was sick. He was battling cancer secretly. Doctors advised rest, but he refused. He insisted on acting. He wanted to honor the story. His frailty added authenticity. He looked genuinely weak. Audiences believed his suffering. It wasn't acting. It was reality. His performance was heartbreaking. He gave dignity to tragedy. Critics praised his courage. Fans admired his strength. It became one of his most touching roles. He fought illness silently. He gave everything to the film. His legacy grew stronger. Olivier's courage became immortal. But illness wasn't the only reality. Authenticity even reached the weapons used on set. Fact 15.
It'll be the largest airborne operation ever mounted.
The guns weren't props. Many were real wartime rifles. Machine guns fired blanks. The tanks were authentic. The weight was enormous. Actors carried real gear. It tired them quickly. It added realism to scenes. The sound was deafening. Explosions echoed like battle. Authenticity was prioritized. Safety measures were minimal. Accidents happened frequently. Shell casings burned hands. Gear caused bruises. Actors felt like soldiers. The weight slowed them. The exhaustion was real. The realism showed on screen. It wasn't faked. The war felt authentic, but authenticity extended further because actual war veterans advised the production. Fact 16.
But the fact is, you see, whether we like it or not, fog, it moved.
Of course it moved.
Survivors of Operation Market Garden consulted. They corrected details. They explained tactics. They shared memories. They honored fallen comrades. Actors listened carefully. The veterans brought truth. They shaped dialogue. They explained uniforms. They corrected errors. Their presence humbled cast and crew. It reminded everyone of sacrifice. It wasn't just entertainment. It was history retold. The veterans cried watching scenes. They felt transported back. Their guidance made it powerful. They ensured respect. Their legacy lived on screen. The film became a memorial. But memorials weren't the only echoes. The film reshaped how war was portrayed forever. Fact 17.
The general are coming. They're coming tonight.
Most war films glorified victory. This one showed failure. It highlighted mistakes. It criticized leadership. It honored soldiers, but condemned plans. It was brutally honest. Audiences weren't used to it. It broke traditions. It influenced later films. Saving Private Ryan echoed its realism. Directors admired its courage. It showed loss could be cinematic. It proved tragedy had power. It gave war films depth. It made honesty profitable. The influence still lingers. It reshaped expectations. It showed truth mattered. It changed history in cinema. The bridge wasn't forgotten. The film made sure. But changing cinema didn't guarantee profit. The box office shocked producers. Fact 18.
Apologies for my enforced absence.
Expectations were massive. The cast was legendary. The budget was enormous. But ticket sales disappointed. It underperformed in America. Audiences found it too long. They struggled with complexity. Some skipped it entirely. It did better in Europe, but it didn't match investment. Producers were shaken. The stars couldn't save it. The disappointment lingered, but reputation grew later. Now it's seen as a masterpiece. It aged into classic status. The box office didn't define it. The legacy outshone profits. The failure became success in time. It became respected by all. But success came in another form. Military historians embraced it completely. Fact 19.
So no one's going to get to Arnhem Bridge except on foot. Splendid.
War films often distort, but this one stayed close. It showed market garden honestly. It depicted failure bravely. Historians admired the detail. They praised uniforms. They praised strategy accuracy. They praised soldier behavior. The mistakes were clear. The leaders were flawed. The soldiers were human. It felt like documentary drama. It educated audiences. It preserved history faithfully. It became teaching material. Schools even used it. It became part of education. Historians embraced it fully. Accuracy gave it power. It became timeless. But the final secret shows how this war film still shapes culture decades later. Fact 20. It wasn't just a movie, it became part of memory. The Netherlands still screens it. Commemorations use clips. It honors soldiers yearly. It revived market garden story. It made new generations aware. It gave voice to the fallen. It connected nations. It turned tragedy into tribute. It influenced filmmakers. It influenced historians. It lives in classrooms. It lives in museums. The cast became immortal through it. The film bridged history and cinema. It wasn't forgotten. It became sacred. The bridge was too far in war, but never too far in memory. And that's when everyone realized this wasn't just a war film. It was history reborn on screen.